Can't believe I have less than 24 hours to pack for 3 continents. So many people get really nervous traveling alone, especially internationally. So I'm going to be vlogging my whole process in real time, well, in edited real time, because let's be real, as a generation, collectively, we have the attention span of a ladybug. But I'm going to be taking you through what to wear on the flight, what gifts to carry from India to the US, some packing essentials, what not to pack, and I'm going to be taking you through all the steps at the Mumbai International Airport. So stay till the end for that one. I will leave all the timestamps below so you can check them out. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to be traveling to Orlando, Toronto, New York, and London over the next 20 days. That's 4 cities across 3 countries and 2 continents. And I'm so super excited. So I had been actually meaning to make a video like this for my mom because she goes into panic mode when it comes to logistics. And actually, funnily, I also have a lot of friends who find it unthinkable to actually do this alone. And I've realized it's only because it's an unfamiliar concept. Like families would always take international trips together and the grown-up men commonly handled all of the details. But isme koi rocket science nahi hai. In my family, it was never really thought of that way. I have been traveling alone since the age of 21 when I had gone abroad to study. And if you can, please invest in an experience like that. If it fits your budget, if it fits your plan, please try to study abroad. It goes a long, long way in making you so comfortable in the world at large. And I think that's a very important feeling to have, and people can spend years and years and not really have that. To just feel at home outside of your bubble is a really, really important skill to have. You know, you need to feel like you're not really an outsider to any of it. So let's get out there, but first, let's get started. So first things first, what am I wearing on the flight? I am just going to be really, really comfortable. I'm going to be wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. It's just anything that can basically be a, like a night pajama set, but not look like it. So effectively, that's the look I'm going for. Shoes are the important bit. Just something that's comfortable and that I can walk around a lot in because there is a lot of walking. So I'm going to be flying from the Chhatrapati Shivaji Mumbai International Airport to Dubai, which is about a 3-hour flight. Then I have a 2-hour layover at the Dubai airport, and then I fly from there to Orlando, which is a 16-hour flight. And I do not intend to be on my seat for those 16 hours. So, shoes are extremely important. For the gifts I'm carrying, honestly, I've realized that with people who are living abroad, I think it's just important to ask them what they want and what they prefer because there are so many things that they would rather you get. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be staying with relatives in Orlando, and they have a wedding to attend. So I wanted to get them Indian wear, which of course is very exotic there. So there are these kurtas. I also realized that the whole Fab India aesthetic, they can probably get that there. This is something that you need to be in India for. So I've got some jackets and like this brocade work course. This is from Fab India, by the way. My friend whom I'm meeting in Toronto, she loves these incense sticks, so I've bought a couple of these. It's funny how these regular simple things, from our regular hometown spaces, they end up becoming such a big deal there. Of course, you get everything everywhere now, but yeah. They also wanted some cigarettes. I don't know what the logic is. I'm not a smoker, but I don't know whether it's because it's cheaper here or whether this brand is not available there, but that. And I've got some table linen for my friends there. They've just moved into their new homes, and these are actually Jumpin' Heights cork coasters. They're made from cork and they're just so stunning. I wanted to get my friend that. They love to drink, and this has our logo and our tagline on it, which is Got Guts. Okay, so I am rushing to Chroma to buy some battery packs and your universal adapters. So these are the gadgets that I'm carrying. Yesterday I had gone shopping for this one. This is the Redmi power bank. Apparently power bank is the preferred term here. So this is the Redmi one that I bought. Apparently it will charge the phone about 4 times in one charge. And this is the Kindle, and these are my AirPods. Now this is extremely important. It's extremely important that this is charged because it's going to be a long flight, and I intend to be listening to a lot of audiobooks. These are the two ways that I read books when I'm traveling. This is for audiobooks, and this is of course the Kindle for ebook reading. And this is my gimbal. This I've actually very recently bought. I'm still getting used to it. This is for a very, very special experience that I have booked in New York for myself, and I can't wait to give it a ride. This is my Insta360 camera. This is, I think, the coolest camera out there. And yes, so I've got that as well. That's charged and ready to go. Okay, so it is a rainy day at home, but I have to leave because I need to get rubber slippers of all things for my trip tomorrow. The ones I use are just overused and overworn, and they're just not going to be acceptable out in the oh my god. Okay, so yeah, why can't you ever find things when you need them? I think there's a law or something about it. I forget. Okay, so I'm just gonna go down to the nearest store. Yeah, because I mean it's just one of those things, like if you don't really have it, you're gonna regret it. And I don't think I can live for 15 days on international turf with a feeling like that. Also, I'm just like, I don't know, my agenda when looking at footwear is just it should feel like you're walking on clouds. So that's just not very easy to find. By the way, this whole thing about solo travel, I know I talk a lot about it and I've written a lot about it and I have done it a lot. Most of it has been out of work, or this actually I think is the first time I'm just traveling for leisure all by myself. I am living with family and friends during the process, during parts of it, and then the last bit in New York is where I'm completely by myself, which I'm actually really excited about. But I have been in equal parts nervous about it also. But my nervousness is not really logistics related. Like that's not the part that bothers me or phases me in any way anymore, which is why I wanted to make this video, just from kind of the sense of confidence I have about just handling the process. But psychologically, my nervousness stems more from, will I make the most of my time? Because when you're on your own, you can tend to not feel the need to dress up as much. You may not want to go out. It's the easiest thing to kind of just pick one safe point, and whether that's your hotel room or whether that's a cafe or like whatever, and just kind of get lost in like reading a book or your phone. And that's something that scares me. I think that what scares me is the fear of missing out and not really doing as much, because you don't really have a partner or any travel companion whose goal is also to kind of see as much of the place as possible. So which is why actually, though, at this point in time, New York is my most planned location yet, because all the other places I've kind of kept room to just chill with my friends or my family and things like that. But New York is the part where I barely have any breathing space. I've booked experiences throughout. I've already planned exactly where I want to go in the morning, afternoon, evening. I think I do it with a little bit of vengeance, because I just, like I said, the fear of missing out is real, and I want to make sure that I'm covering as much ground as I can and not really wasting that time in a new city. And New York has been my dream city. I've been wanting to go to New York since forever. I have been there once. That was about that was about 12 years ago now. But I was just there for, I want to say, 1.5 days. The first half of the day was, we had landed into New York, so I remember being completely jet lagged when I went to Times Square. I think I was in Times Square for like 1 hour before I had to head back to the hotel and crash. And then I had gone the next day. We had taken like a cruise around the Statue of Liberty. So, but I remember that place since then. I remember telling myself then that I need to come back here and I need to spend time here, and I'm so glad I get to do that, which is why I want to make sure that I'm not just completely bored. And I think that's the fear. Like, I worry that I'll just bore myself to death when I'm on my own sometimes. But I've planned it all out, so I'm really excited to see how it goes. Of course, I understand that when you're on your own and when you're in a place that you don't know much about, there's so much that happens which is completely unplanned, which is a surprise, which frankly ends up being the best part of those trips. So yeah, I don't think I'm worried about safety too much. I've not really heard those things about New York in terms of safety, because like Bombay and like most of these places, which are really crowded and noisy, the easiest hack is just to be around main commercial areas at night pretty much, and then you're sorted. So super excited, and I think I'm almost at my destination. So I need to check the maps. I have a gut feeling New York is going to be the best part of this whole trip. I'm really getting used to doing these things on my own, and that's something, right? Like, if you're going to choose to not just get married conventionally at the conventional age, which is whatever, 25, 27, whatever, you're going to be adamant about finding your own partner at your own time, then this is a real possibility. It's you either just do things on your own or you just miss out on everything. So I choose the former. So comes with the tough, I guess, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm learning to really enjoy it as well. But I do remember sending very nervous messages to my friend. She had lived in New York for about 4 years, and I remember asking her if I'll be okay. Like, I just thought, like, what am I gonna do all by myself? And I remember sending her these frantic voice notes of being like, will I meet people here? Is it okay to make friends? Like, is that a possibility? Like, that's still something that I crave for. But I think that's just fear. Honestly, it's not even coming from a place of loneliness. It's just coming from a place of fear. Like, will I just be fine? But I know I will be. I've done it before. Sometimes you just got to remind yourself that you have. Okay, see you after I get my rubber slippers. Basically, every flight has its own policy. Also, most countries have their own policy. But because I will be flying through Dubai, I'm also going to have to keep in mind the UAE policies as well as the USA state policies. I'm going on to my flight website. I am flying Emirates. So that's the website I'm on. And this is the dangerous goods policy page. And here's what it says. It does say if you're carrying any controlled medication into the UAE, which are prescription medicines, you must apply for approval through the Ministry of Health website, and you'll have to check with your doctor if your prescribed medicine is controlled or not. Okay, so alcohol can be carried in the check-in luggage as well as in the carry-on. But the alcohol beverage should not be more than 24%. Okay, the alcohol that you are allowed to carry is no more than 5 liters. Okay, anything with batteries or electronics is something that they always say needs to be in your carry-on luggage. So that's going to be going into my handbag. But yeah, you'd rather not put power banks in your suitcase. Okay, drones. A lot of people have started carrying drones now. Drones are not allowed on a lot of flights, and they're not allowed in this particular flight. I don't know if it's all international flights, but that's something you can check. Okay, also appliances. I don't know, there is some discrepancy between the voltage that we use in India and in the US. I have burnt a couple of my burners on previous visits, so I'm not going to be carrying any appliances. The only charging that I intend to do is basically for my phones and maybe my camera. And I've never really had a problem with that. But ideally speaking, like appliances, I'm not sure what the scene is with my portable iron, but I'm just not carrying it. I know that things like hair dryers, hair curlers, all of these definitely get burnt out. So I think the way to counter that is to actually get a voltage adapter, which I don't have. So I'm not going to be keeping any appliances. I think you're better off using local appliances there. Any aerosols that you're carrying, whether it's your perfumes or any medical aerosols, they cannot exceed 2 liters or 2 kgs in the net quantity in totality. So any individual article must not exceed 0.5 kgs or 0.5 liters. This is particularly for aerosols. Okay, so they are also very, very particular about thermometers because they have mercury in them. If you happen to be carrying them in your handbag, they need to be very, very tightly sealed. I'm just not carrying it at all. Also, all medical supplies ideally should be in clear kits, in clear bags like a Ziploc, and they should be in your handbag so that if they are suspicious of it, if they're not sure of it, they can check it right there and then, and you're cleared for security purposes. Of course, all sharp items, whether it's a scissor, a nail cutter, all of them will have to go into your hand luggage. I do actually have an allowance of 2 pieces for check-in luggage, but I'm just going to be carrying one now, and that too is just filled up on one side. So that side is all just gifts. Once I give out those gifts, I have that space for all the shopping that I do, so I'm carrying a lot of gifts. But if I do shop beyond that, I will just purchase a suitcase there. I think that just is a system that works for me. I have made the mistake of actually carrying very, very fancy clothes and very, very fancy footwear, and particularly in the US, I feel like that's just a recipe for disaster. There is so much walking, so much more than you're used to in India, that I think the only footwear that works is actually something that, like walking kids or sportswear or something of the sort. So this time what I'm doing is for shoes, I'm keeping one pretty pair of shoes, okay? You've always got to have that on hand. So one pair of pretty shoes, but primarily one pair of sneakers and one of those kind of like Skechers kind of shoes which actually have a walking sole. So they have like a sportswear sole, but they're just, they're just meant for walking through the world. So that is that. Another thing is I do keep like a copy of my passport and my visas, like a Xeroxed copy of all of these in every piece of luggage that I have. I have lost my passport in the past, so I think that this is just a nifty way to make sure that, if worst case scenario, you're never without these copies, on your international travel, because that is a nightmare. I do have a makeup kit and a toiletries kit. That's really important. I mean, I am actually traveling through a lot of places, so I've kept my, my shampoo and conditioner, my skincare and my makeup basically, and that's about it. For clothing, of course, I have those outfits that I want to wear for certain places, but I think most importantly, I'm carrying like a lot of just active wear, athleisure wear, because I am going in July and it's going to be extremely hot, and you need something that you're comfortable in. Here's the plan. Of course, I have enabled all my credit and debit cards for international transactions, but ideally I intend to use my Forex card. This is the first time that I've actually purchased a Forex card, which is a foreign exchange card, and I've taken the debit card version, so I've already preloaded it with money, and basically it'll be like a debit card. That card does not work in India. It only starts working from duty free and of course abroad. I don't know, I'm hoping that it works in most places, but since this is my first time, I guess we'll see. And I'm carrying cash. Now there is, I believe, a limit of $3,000 that you can carry in cash on a B1 visa, which is the tourist visa, which I'm traveling on. So that's something to know. Then I'm carrying mints because that's important. Also, you know what a hassle it is every time when you're going through security and they ask you to remove all of your gadgets and all of your wires and everything. I don't know why I haven't thought of putting all of it in one box before. So this is the first time I'm being smart. Basically, this has, I'll also be putting my phone charger in it, but it has my camera, it has my battery pack, and it has the wires. I will also be putting my phone charger into it, and then I think this will just be a one-time thing that I have to do, hopefully. I do have just a notebook because you never know when inspiration strikes and you want to make a few notes. So that is that. Also keep a pen at hand. Also I have some basic stationery because you're going to have to fill the immigration forms. So this is for that. I do like having cute stationery with me at all times. So I have like a little bit of a few markers. Like these are those colored markers. And what are these? Those post-it stamps? I don't know what I'm going to need them for. I just feel like I will. Just feel like if you need to, you shouldn't be without these items. My passport and money is yet to come to me. So I'll do that. This is the medicine kit that I was talking about. Everything is in here. There is a limit of about 0.5 liters of aerosols to carry, but I've carried a move. I'm very prone to neck spasms while I'm traveling. So I've kept the Move aerosols, which are an instant relief for that. I've kept that in my luggage just to be on the safer side. But everything else that I am prone to, that I could potentially have, is in here. Of course, medicines are easily available, but just in case any issue strikes, you never know, where the chemists are, where the grocery stores are, and all of that. So, you want this handy. And my father has very sweetly made a legend for me also. So he's collected all the medicines and he's written a list what each of those medicines are for. Okay, so this is my on-the-go toiletries kit. It has this, which is like a multi-use moisture stick by Pixie. It's just really convenient. It's basically like a moisturizer in stick form. I have a hair serum because my hair can just go wonky at all times. I have basically taken my regular cream and put it in a travel size container so that I don't have to carry that big bulky thing, and I have that with me on the go. I have a little bit of, this is like the Cora eye oil, just because I think when you're on a long flight you can tend to feel really dehydrated. Your skin starts to feel that, and this is for that basically. And I have a comb. That's about it. This is my toiletries kit. It's basically, all of it is just for moisture. I think the body just loses a lot of water during long spells of that air-conditioned, dehydrating aeroplane. But yeah, again, there is this, very Indian parental urge to impose you with the physical copies of all your flight tickets. So basically, I'm carrying all of them in paper format. So that's it. Oh, also, I think I don't have my room slippers. So I've kept Keds, I've kept my pretty slippers, I'm wearing my walking slippers, but I also need to have bathroom slippers. So I need to go get that. Okay, one more thing is I'm going to keep a coin pouch, which I've learned to do now because I don't know, for some reason, different airports can be really weird about coins. So if there are coins in your handbag, they will more often than not stop you at the security line. So I'm just going to transfer all the coins in this, and along with my electronics, I'm just going to keep this out there so that they don't rush me towards the end and they're not holding me back basically.